Witness how Nikolas Cruz gets caught with body language when he tries to fake his insanity to you. We're gonna break it all down. That's next.
The demons, man.
And we're back, Shakers! As you'll know, then 19-year-old Nikolas Cruz is the scum of the earth. He's expected to be tried of 17 counts of premeditated murder later this year. However, decided to plead not guilty because he claims he was insane and therefore not eligible for the death penalty.
The court accepted a not guilty plea from Nikolas Cruz.
So does body language prove that he's faking insanity of hearing demon voices so he can avoid Florida's death row? We're gonna break down Nikolas Cruz's odd body language, police body camera, and interrogation room footage to finally reveal the truth. Now, let's get started. Let's go and break this shit down. After Nikolas Cruz was released from the hospital, he was placed in this interrogation room to be interrogated by the detective. However, notice what Nikolas Cruz does as soon as he makes eye contact with the interrogation room camera. Yes, immediately when he knows he's being watched, he starts to insinuate very self-destructive behavior. Then when he pushes his fingers into his head, he starts to realize what's more destructive than just insinuating destructive behavior, but actually showing the people who are watching the camera how self-destructive he can be. Watch. This is so pathetic. As you're noticing, Nikolas is totally fake punching himself in the face. We can see that he's not really punching himself hard or anything. It's all just for show because he's doing the punches with a dead fist, moving his head as he's punching his face, trying to make himself appear self-destructive so everyone thinks that, oh, well, maybe he is a little mentally off. This is so cringe. And at this point, falls out of character for a second while looking back up at the camera, making sure it's still there and it didn't move. And okay, they're still watching me. Good. And then look, he goes right back into character of his insanity mode here. And also when he mouths those self-destructive words, he says it to make sure that the people that are watching the camera can either hear him or make sure that they can read his lips.
All right.
Meet Detective John Curcio. He's going to be interrogating Nikolas Cruz here. Unlike some of the other interrogations that we looked at in the past on this channel, they have enough evidence that Nikolas Cruz did this. They don't need a confession from Nikolas Cruz here. At this point, the value that they're trying to get out of him is why did he do this? To receive both closure for the families and also to prevent something like this from happening again.
Do you have a phone?
I lost it
When did you lose it?
today.
Okay. What kind of phone is it? It's a phone. What's the number?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember. Hello. My name is Nick, and I'm going to be the next school of 2018.
You don't remember your phone number. How long you had the phone?
At this point, it seems like Nikolas is starting to realize that, yeah, his phone probably has quite a bit of incriminating evidence on it against him. And the evidence proves that this was not just some random thing that a voice told him to do one day, but was actually well planned in advance, because as you'll continue to see, the videos that are on his phone, yeah, are quite incriminating.
How long have you had the phone?
My goal is at least 20 people. I think I can get it done.
Nick, the doctor's already looked at you.
Okay.
Okay, you're fine. You're not having any problems at the moment, and you're perfectly fine. So calm your breathing down, all right? And I want to believe certain things that you're going to tell me, but, you know, if we're getting to where you're going to hyperventilate over a phone number.
Location is Stone Douglas.
It sure doesn't sound like a voice told him to do it. It sounds like a premeditated plan, doesn't it? Also, with these clips that were on his phone, he just seems like some kid that's just talking about what he wants to do next to get back at some people he doesn't like. Also, he mentions nothing or suggests nothing of a demon, of a voice that's telling him or suggesting that he should do anything.
In Parkland, Florida.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So what's your phone number? Huh?
954.
Okay, 954.
821.
821. Calm down. Take a deep breath.
107.
107.
It's gonna be a big event.
1007. And again, going back to what kind it is. Do you know if it's an iPhone, a Samsung?
I don't know.
How long have you had it? Every kid knows what the phone is, man. I got kids your age.
When you see me on the news, you'll all know who I am.
Why do you think Nick would even talk to this detective here? Right, it's basically the same reason why all the other accused and all the other suspects that we looked at and all the other interrogation videos also talk to the police as well. Right, it's basically because they believe they can talk their way out of it. With Nikolas, he knows they have a lot of evidence against him and it's obvious that he did it. So that's not the issue, but with Nikolas, he surely believes that he can actually convince this interrogator that he's insane and therefore, hey, it wasn't really his fault that he did this, so they can just send him to a mental hospital for a few years and then maybe he can go back home after that. To you and I, it sounds pretty ridiculous, right? Where you're just going to do one of the most horrific things a human being can do. And then what? You're just going to spend a few years in a mental hospital? No, that's not how this works. However, to a narcissist like Nikolas Cruz, they end up doing things that to you and I may come across as stupid. It's very similar to the way that Chris Watts thought he could just dispose of his family and say, I don't know where they're at.
At the pool?
Yeah.
The little rec center thing right here.
There's a pool right down there.
Yeah.
And they probably just made their way across the border, either to Mexico or Canada, and they changed their names, and who knows where they are right now. To a narcissist or anyone who has antisocial personality disorder, they feel they can do what's impossible for anyone else.
Where are you working at?
Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree? How long you worked there?
2 years.
2 years? What city?
Parkland.
Parkland? What do you do for them? What kind of job?
Cashier.
Nikolas worked as a cashier at Dollar Tree for 2 years. When I was 15 and 16 years old, I was a cashier at a grocery store. And yeah, if you're not balancing your drawer at the end of the day, even by a few bucks, you're probably not going to have a job very long. It was not like he was just someone who just threw things on the shelf and he did a crappy job and just blamed on somebody else. You need to be very meticulous when you're a cashier. You need to be on point. If the demon voice told him to take just $20 every time he was at work, he wasn't going to be a cashier for very long.
Did depression worsen, and what was going on? Did you just stop school on your own, or did some incident happen where?
Yes, some incident.
Well, what was the incident that happened?
Fought a kid.
You fought a kid? Remember the kid's name?
Ian.
Ian. And did you guys both get in trouble for the fight, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what did they do? Suspend you?
They suspended me.
What were you guys fighting over?
A girl.
A girl? He was talking to your girlfriend?
He would hit her, he would threaten her family and her friends for talking to other guys.
Why did you need a gun like that? Just because you wanted it?
To feel safe.
To feel safe?
The weapon was purchased here. Mr. Cruz walked in, selected an AR-15 directly off the rack.
Whether or not you've ever been adjudicated for a mental illness or whether or not you've ever been institutionalized for mental health illness. He answered no.
Go to the hospital, the doctors clear you. And you're talking about demons. What are the demons?
The voices.
What's going on today, bro?
We have police body camera footage of when they first arrested Nikolas Cruz. Take a look at his fake body language and behavior when he talks about demons and voices, and then we'll break it down.
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What the Where What happened?
Shut up.
Just be quiet, man.
Shut up.
Did you catch it? Let's break it down.
What's going on today, bro?
The demons, man.
Demons?
So the police officer says back to Nikolas, demons, as a question.
Voices.
Nikolas then clarifies that he really means voices because, voices probably told him what to do. It's not his fault. It's just the voices. Let's keep watching.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices.
Voices and demons?
The police officer repeats back what Nikolas just said, and then when it comes from someone external of Nikolas, he starts to realize it doesn't sound very believable. But did you notice when Nikolas felt like he was not being believed, he starts looking up and out, pretending that he's seeing and experiencing some demon voice? Let's keep watching.
Where's the voices?
Okay, so as you can see here, this is just really bad acting and just really cringe. Nikolas is looking up and out as if he's seeing or experiencing these voices and demons saying, "Where are the voices?" But there's a little problem. He's looking out and saying, "Where are the voices?" Wouldn't you be looking out and saying, "Who are you? Why are you doing this? You're a demon. Stop. Get away from me." Wouldn't there be more of that type of reaction? Not, "Where are the voices?"
Where's the voices?
Which seems to be a little bit of a Freudian slip that he just could not actually get into the mindset of actually pretending that he's actually hearing voices. So he accidentally said, "Where are the voices?" instead of, "Voice, leave me alone," or "I don't want to do what you're telling me to do," or get away from me, voice, demon, get away from me." He didn't say that. He said just, "Where are the voices?"
Where's the voices?
Because he's not hearing voices and he's just making that up.
What the What happened?
He's trying to make you believe that he's seeing demons and voices are all coming around and approaching him and, he's not mentally sane. But, as we'll see later, there's a little bit of a contradiction from here to what he says in the interview.
What happened?
Shut up.
Just be quiet, man.
Shut up.
Now Nikolas is making that cowardly, pathetic whimpering sound, trying to make it seem like he's scared of the demons and the voices are all around him, trying to attack him. Oh, no. But, as you'll notice later in the interrogation, he says something a lot different. Let's keep watching.
Tell me about it. What are the voices about?
It's another voice, the evil side.
Okay. And how long has that voice been going on?
Years.
What we'll be noticing is that Nikolas will be lying pretty much completely about the voice that he's hearing and demons or anything else. When you suspect someone could be lying throughout the entire interview or throughout the entire segment of an interview, first pay attention to the inconsistencies, discrepancies, and contradictions that they make. Someone who's making up a story through their imagination, their story will not make a lot of sense. There's going to be gaps in the story. They'll say one thing and then immediately contradict that. The next thing you're going to be looking for is just bad acting. They'll fall out of character and then immediately come back into character, and then fall out of character again, and then come back into character.
Did you ever tell anybody about the voice? Never? You never told anybody? You never told your mom? You ever told your brother? You told Zach about it.
We're going to be noticing massive, constant contradictions with Nikolas here. First, Nikolas says that he never told anyone about the voice. Okay.
Did you ever tell anybody about the voice? Never?
Naturally, you would want to say that you told someone about the voice because it will make his story more credible if he's mentioned something to somebody about the voice, that it wasn't just something that he just made up here, that maybe he did say to somebody else. So it's in his best interest to say that he did say it to somebody else, anybody else. But then a minute, 29 seconds later, he says that, "Well, I told my brother, though."
You told Zach about it. And what does the voice say to you? Well, what does it tell you to do?
Burn, kill, destroy.
Okay, burn, kill, destroy what?
Anything.
Okay, but have you ever burned, killed, or destroyed anything? What have you burned, killed, or destroyed?
Burned, just fire, just set fire.
To what?
Well, what did you set fire to? Did you set fire to a house? Maybe a barn? What did you set fire to? A forest fire? Because Nikolas is claiming that he has this very destructive voice. Let's see what this demon told Nikolas to set fire to.
In the pit. Fire.
Oh, a fire pit.
A fire pit! This evil, destructive demon voice told Nikolas to set fire to the fire pit. Nikolas is such a narcissist and probably something else that he thinks just a fire is a fire. The demon told me to build a fire, so, I did something destructive.
Okay, well, I mean, the voice told you to burn something, you built a fire in a fire pit. What's destructive about that? That's what fire pits are made for.
Nikolas is surely thinking that he's talking to some kind of police psychiatrist, and they wouldn't just have any police detective interview him. They would probably have someone there who would just want to give Nikolas a good hug, because Nikolas is surely thinking, "Oh, poor me. I've been through a lot."
What else did the voice tell you to do that's...
Kill animals.
Okay, have you ever killed animals?
Yes.
What kind of animals?
Birds.
Birds? Wild birds or people's
Birds.
pets? How do you kill them?
Birds. No, I mean like...
With a pelican? Oh, okay.
And Nikolas occasionally shoots birds with his pellet gun that land on his PVC fence. Again, he's trying to amplify the destruction that he's claiming this voice has told him to do. But the reality is that the voice hasn't really told him to do anything, and he seems to just be using the voice as an excuse for why he did the most horrific thing a human being could possibly do.
Where's your pellet gun?
It broke.
These are not the signs of someone who's insane. They're the signs of a narcissist.
Okay. All right, so the voices tell you to hurt animals and start fires in the fire pit. Let's talk about the last couple days. When was the last time you heard the voice?
Now, when Nikolas describes the voice in detail, notice the inconsistencies, the discrepancies, and contradictions he makes.
Yesterday.
Voices.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What the Where What happened?
When was the last time you heard the voice?
Yesterday.
The answer should have been that afternoon when he was being arrested. But no, let's keep watching him continuously contradict himself.
What time was it yesterday?
It was at night.
It was at night.
Did you hear the voice this morning or no? Hey, what's the voice saying this morning? The voice didn't tell you to take Uber, right?
Yes, it did.
It did?
Here's the plan. I'm gonna go take Uber in the afternoon before 2:40.
A few weeks earlier in that video clip, he even said he was going to take Uber as part of his premeditated plan.
Yes.
The voice said take Uber.
Yes.
Is there a voice inside you that says do good things? No?
It's always bad.
Nikolas says to you that it's always bad. Do you think he's going to contradict himself again?
The voice didn't force you to do anything, right?
No, the voice it's two voices.
Uh-huh.
There's one half that's the good and then the bad.
Do you have a good voice too, or just a bad voice? Is there a voice inside you that says do good things? No?
It's always bad.
There's one half that's the good and then the bad.
The contradictions are constant and endless with him. And yes, it's because he's using his imagination and figuring out everything on the fly and not using his memory of what actually happened.
Other than Emily, you ever had another girlfriend since Emily?
No.
No? What were your feelings about Emily? Just a high school girlfriend, or she was the love of your life?
She was the love of my life.
Warning, classified information. That's what Nikolas Cruz wrote atop a series of drawings and love letters to a girl named Miley. I wish we could be together right now, he writes.
Hundreds writing to Nikolas Cruz. Most of the letters from teenage girls include a description of what they look like or a provocative photo.
He did basically the worst thing that a human being can do. And he gets those notes from people. It's disgusting. You want to know more why women sometimes fall in love with murderers?
I think he's cute. I know that he's a nice person because I've met him and I know.
You can check out my Richard Ramirez psychopath video. Link is in the description.
The demon is because you got disrespected by in front of your peers.
Now the detective is saying something to Nikolas that Nikolas doesn't like. And you can see that with his hands through his hair, showing his frustration. Now Nikolas is definitely not feeling that little hug that he hoped for when he went to that police station.
You're not a psychologist or anything? Or?
Now Nikolas finally gathers that that detective is not a psychologist that's just going to hug him and tell him it's okay for doing one of the most horrific things a human being can possibly do. Again, I want to be clear. He's not insane. He's just a narcissist that thinks he can get away with this, that he can do this, that he would be treated with a hug, that he would not be getting a severe penalty for something like this. Someone else would, but he would not. This is just very narcissistic behavior, possibly something more like psychopathy or sociopath. But what this is narcissistic behavior, thinking that he's better and will get different treatment than anyone else would.
No, I'm not. I'm a 59-year-old man who's raised 3 children, so I guess that makes me somewhat of a psychologist.
I think you can give me a psychologist here.
I can certainly ask.
Nikolas, in his mind, is hoping he's going to get someone in there who's just going to give him a hug, telling him it's going to be okay, and not give him any severe penalty for what he did.
Why do you want to talk to a psychologist?
To find out what's wrong with me.
After all the horrific, disgusting destruction that Nikolas caused that day, he has the nerve to ask, well, what's wrong with me? If he was possessed by a demon or a voice, he would be apologetic. He would be offering apologies and crying of what kind of horrific damage he caused to the community. We see no apology, no remorse, no sympathy, no sadness for all the horrific things that he did that he says was this temporary insanity type of thing, that this demon came on to him and told him to do one of the most horrific things a human being can do.
Well, what do you think's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Also, notice in this entire questioning of the interrogation, we don't notice him being distracted by a voice when he's talking to the detective. We don't notice any of that. He seems quite sane, right? Except when he's trying to put on that little act in front of that interrogation room camera.
When you hear the voices, are the voices like outside your head or inside your head when you hear them?
Inside.
Okay, so it's not like you don't hear a voice from that corner talking to you. It's inside your head.
Voices.
Yeah, no problem.
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices? What the Where What happened?
Shut up.
If we noticed in the police body camera video, he was acting like this voice or demon was coming onto him, like it was somewhere outside his body and was not just in his head.
It's inside your head. Where's the voices?
And is it always the same voice, or is it only one voice?
One voice.
About the same age as you think? But it's only one voice you ever hear, right?
Yes.
Also, if you notice, he's not proactively talking about the voice, mentioning a lot of detail, the kind of detail that someone who is experiencing something so terrible that caused them to do something so horrific that has ruined their life.
You ever see anything with the voice? Like some people say, oh, I see a person sitting in the corner. You don't see anybody sitting over there, do you? It's just me and you, right? Do you always obey what the voice tells you to do?
We try not to.
On any given week, how many times do you think you hear the voice? All the time?
Once every day.
Once every day?
Now Nikolas says that the voice comes once every day. You think Nikolas is going to contradict that? Let's keep watching.
Especially in the afternoon.
What's a day in the afternoon? That could be like once every day at like maybe 1 o'clock. Maybe sometimes it would be at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Yeah, okay, that's once every day. Let's keep watching.
About what time?
11 to 12.
In the afternoon.
First, 11 to 12 is not in the afternoon. It's in the late morning. It's not the afternoon. So he's already contradicting himself. Second, he said it with a tail end of a question, almost like, well, 11 to 12? Does that sound right? Will you believe that? Is that normal?
11 to 12.
Why do you think it's those hours?
I don't know.
Do you hear it at night when you go lay down? So you hear the voice more than at 11 and 12, right?
I hear more at night.
Especially in the afternoon.
So now he hears the voice not in the late morning like he said, or the afternoon, but now it's that night, I guess, when he's going to sleep. Just so bad.
The voice is the demon. Does it ever say, hey, my name's Nick. Does he use your name or use somebody else's name? Just a voice with no name.
His voice was no name telling me what to do.
Why do you want to be friends with somebody who just wants to tell you to do bad things?
To have somebody.
Wouldn't you rather be alone than be with somebody who's telling you to do bad shit? That's like being around a friend who's always getting you in trouble. Why would you want a friend like that? Did the voice tell you to buy that AR-15?
Yes.
Voice helping you pick out the gun, or was it just you picking?
No, it was a voice.
What did you cut yourself with?
A knife.
Those little scratches on your arms? Let me look at them. Come on, man. I get worse scratches weeding my flower bed than that. You weren't trying to hurt yourself. All right, so you needed all those guns to protect yourself from the voices, but the voice is in your head. Does the voice like me?
He doesn't trust you.
Why doesn't he trust me? I'm pretty relaxed, ain't I?
I'm trying to figure that out too.
Well, what doesn't he like about me? I mean, I'm kind of grinning because I want to know what the voice's problem is with me. What doesn't he like about me? I treated you fairly. I've given you water. I talked nice to you. You know.
You're too nice.
I'm too nice. Yeah. How many times has the voice talked to you while we've been in the room here together?
A lot.
Has the voice said jump out of the chair and do anything bad to that policeman?
So this demon voice would tell him to harm innocent people, but won't tell him to do anything to that police officer who doesn't believe that the voice is real?
I don't really believe there is a voice, to be honest with you.
Voice.
No, I don't think there is.
Can you call the psychologist?
I don't understand why you can't admit you like guns. There's lots of guys who like...
there's a voice.
No, there's a voice. No, there's a voice. Did you notice how he said that right there? Did you notice how he talked about the voice with no conviction, with his head down and his hands on his head when he makes the claim?
There's a voice.
So the police officer cannot see his deceptive facial expressions?
You want to talk to a psychologist. Why didn't you talk to a psychologist when the voices started?
The voice is telling me not to, and I listen.
The voice was telling you not to talk to a psychologist?
Yeah, but myself, I wanted to.
You sure you didn't like the demon voice?
I don't like the demon voice.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Then why didn't you go to a doctor to get rid of it? I don't think the demon exists. I think you're using the demon as an excuse.
I'm not. I promise.
You could have stopped the demon by getting a prescription for marijuana. You could have stopped the demon by getting a prescription for Xanax. You could have stopped the demon anytime you want. You didn't want to stop the demon.
No, that's not true.
You didn't. You could have. I've given you 4 ways you could have stopped the demon, man. Okay, now you're just acting like that because...
No.
Okay, well, relax. You're just acting like that because I'm making sense. Calm down. I'm making sense, and you don't like when it makes sense.
No.
Okay, so this is just becoming pathetic. Oh my gosh. Now he seems to be amplifying the anxiety that he feels to come across as a little bit more insane. Because he's starting to realize from what that detective has told him that he's not going to be treated with a hug from a psychologist. And instead surely get life in prison and maybe even death row.
Because it doesn't fit into the story you're telling right now.
No, I'm telling you the story. It's just true. It's just,
well, why are you looking at your arm now?
Why do you think he was looking at his forearm right there? Watch again.
It's just true. It's just,
well, why are you looking at your arm now?
Right, it's because in that fit of panic, he started to look for some form of physical proof that he is mentally insane, that there are marks on his arm, and maybe the marks aren't deep enough, and maybe that's why they don't believe that he's insane, and I need to show them physical proof. And he's looking for that physical proof that will, in his mind, seal the deal so he doesn't get thrown in jail for the rest of his life or put on death row.
I'm trying to understand why.
Well, why didn't you want to stop the demon?
I don't know.
Because I think you like the demon.
No, I don't.
Why did you stop it then?
I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon. I don't like the demon.
Well, that's if the demon even exists.
Can I get an attorney or something?
You want what? An attorney?
Yeah.
Did the demon or the voice just tell you to get an attorney? Okay. All right, well, you tell the voice that don't hit yourself in the head.
Nikolas now goes into more self-destructive behavior while the detective is in the room now, trying to make up and show physical proof that he is mentally insane and shouldn't be treated like any other criminal.
I will stop talking to you.
I'm scared.
You're scared of what?
Scared of what? Why the fuck wouldn't he protect me?
What?
Why wouldn't he protect me, man?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't he protect me?
Now, in more convincing, Nikolas starts talking about this voice demon as its own entity and own character, unlike what he said before.
His voice was no name telling what to do.
Because before he was talking about not having a name as just being a voice in his head. Now it's this big character that he's making up saying like, why wouldn't he protect me?
All right, well, again, your demon wants an attorney. Does the demon know an attorney? Any name in particular? Okay. All right, well, just relax. You're done talking to me.
Flailing his legs now and holding his head. It's something going on in his head that this is the problem. I'm feeling it in my head. As he's trying to convince the detective of. Clearly, Nikolas Cruz is not insane at all. Why'd he do it then? It seems that he wanted to get back at the community that he didn't like.
Everybody who knew him, we knew it. Even before they announced that he was the shooter, we all knew it was Nick.
And then when he got arrested, he probably thought, man, I just blame it on a demon voice that told me to do it and try to get away with it.
The demons, man.
Demons?
Voices.
Voices and demons?
Where's the voices?
And because he's a narcissist and surely something else with antisocial personality disorder, yeah, he probably thought that they would buy it, even though he probably knows that they wouldn't buy it from anyone else. But because he's him and he's a narcissist, he thought that he can get away with it more than anyone else could. We have so much more to cover on this case, which we'll likely be covering on my More channel. So if you're not already subscribed to my More channel, you may want to do that, where we also read and react to your questions and comments that you leave on this video. Now in the comments, what do you think should happen to Nikolas Cruz? Let everyone know in the comments below. Subscribe for more body language and investigative videos. See you at the top.